we need to understand why SAS. SAS stands for Statistical Analysis System. SAS is not an application which just emerged today. It has been in the industry for more than 20-25 years. I remember 20 years back when I started my career. Yes, I started with SAS. And after 20 years also, it is still SAS is demanding. SAS and Python equally demanded by industry for data science and AI applications. Why SAS? SAS is used for data to data driven decisions. SAS is all about that. Now, when we will start working into the field of data science, data analytics, or data engineering, or AI side, specifically, we need to understand what are the data sources to the databases. Yet whether it's a flat file, Excel file, cloud, or you have your operational system or APIs, web services, or you're getting IoT or sensor data, it is all being saved into a backend database. Could be Oracle, could be SQL Server, could be MySQL Server. Now this data is stored to the database. From database, it goes to the data warehouse where it creates departmental data marts. Those data is being connected to SAS. SAS does extraction, transformation, loading, and integration of these multiple sources of informations. Why we use SAS here? We use SAS for data analysis. We use SAS for reporting and data visualizations. We use SAS for data mining and AI. We use SAS for automated actions using machine learning and AI, finally creating reports that will go to the end user. This end-to-end solutions, SAS as an applications is very, very important. Most of the industry, when I say the industry, whether it's a banking, whether it's insurance, whether it's e-commerce, retail, whether it's healthcare, whether it's life science, manufacturing, telecom, government or public sector, or education, everywhere SAS has been used. Just to give you a heads up, NASA also uses SAS. ISRO is also using SAS. SAS is also into life science, robotic science, and also research areas. So SAS professionals are in high demand, whether you are into the business side, whether you are into the product side, whether you are in captive, whether you are in service-based industry, every industry they need SAS resources to be deployed. Knowing SAS programming, what exactly you can head for? You can become a data analyst, you can become a data scientist, you can become a data engineer, you can become a programmer analyst, or you can also become a machine learning engineer using a SAS programming itself. SAS is very, very powerful application, guys. Remember this. So SAS programming skills are having endless career opportunities. It is a demand, great salary, global opportunity, India and abroad, opportunity very, very high when you have right SAS skills. And the moment you come forward saying that I'm a very strong resource in SAS, opportunities are always open to you. Jobs with the industry, mostly if you go for the banking sector, finance, insurance, 22% of the job market in data science and AI. In SAS specifically, it comes for banking and financial services company. They hire SAS resources. Followed by healthcare and life sciences, which is all about 16%, retail e-commerce 13%, and insurance industry, they hire 10%. That is how so on for the industries where they look for to hire SAS professionals. Now, the SAS programming, the overview. How will you start working in SAS? Do we need to install any software? No, you do not have to install any software. It was a long time back when people used to install. No, there is no way to install software. You can go to SAS ODA University. SAS is offering a free cloud installation for you. Just have to go for creating your login ID. Welcome.oda.sas.com. You create a login ID password. You get up to 5 GB storage there as a cloud-based SAS studio where you'll start writing the programs. You will start developing the models. However, if you really want to make it enterprise, you have to join an enterprise after learning the skills from the SAS studio, which is available as a SAS University student, or you can call this as this is called the SAS studio, which is there in SAS ODA. That is mostly for the academic students who wants to learn SAS as an application. Once you have your login ID and password in SAS ODA, you will understand the user interface, the navigation, how you can start working in SAS studio. That is what you will do today in the workshop with me. You will understand how to write program, how to see output, how to import, how to export, how to sort, how to merge data sets, how to summarize data sets. Everything we'll be talking through this workshop today. Ultimately, by knowing SAS, the purpose, you will learn how to manage data, how to do a statistical analysis, how to create reports and visualizations, how to automate, and how to make decision making insights from SAS as an application. Yes, guys, it's all about importing data, getting the data into SAS environment, writing SAS program, run the program, get the results, and create reports and insights. That is what we will be doing today's session. The topic or the content that we want to do in next 2 hours time from now, it's all about SAS programming jargons. We will understand what are the jargons is important before getting to SAS programming. We will also understand the SAS programmings with what is called library, what is called dataset, what is called statements, options, and functions in the SAS programming. We'll understand SAS programming means it followed two steps: data step and the proc step. What is data step? What is proc step? How important it is to know? We will do that in a practical way. We'll start with data importing and exporting, understanding how to read data from multiple sources to the SAS environment, how to export data from SAS to multiple source files. We'll also talk about how to go for writing queries in SAS to manipulate the table by selecting variables, keeping variables, dropping variables, renaming the column or the fields, filtering values, how to make conditional column. We'll talk about that SAS dataset with how to go for querying to the SAS dataset. Then we'll talk about how to sort dataset in SAS. Ascending order, descending order, how do you go for sorting this? We'll also talk about SAS joining, how to make vertical join means appending tables, horizontal join means merging tables in SAS toward data transformation using SAS functions, character functions, numeric functions, and the datetime functions. These are something which we are going to do today. Just to give you my background, my name is Dr. Debendra Debadutta. I am also one of you guys. I started my career in 2006. I walked into healthcare domain. Then I walked into telecom. Then I walked into IBM HP for hardware supply chain, retail marketing work for entire worldwide project. Then I joined HSBC. I was taking care of USA and Canada retail credit portfolio, loan portfolio analysis, credit risk analysis, retail marketing strategy, campaign management. This is what I was doing. Then from 2019 until today, DV Analytics, I'm the founder, director of this organization. It is into training and consulting. We have trained more than 9,500 students in last 15 years of the training. My expertise come from programming to automations, machine learning to deep learning to Gen AI to agentic AI, followed by machine learning and hardcore data visualization specialist I am. There is a rule for today's session here. The rule is we have very limited time. I do not want anybody to be interacted in between or raising questions because we have to utilize the time with many concepts. Then just keep yourself silent or mute mode and write down all your questions in a notebook and raise those questions once we end this session today. I want to assure you one thing. If you have joined to know SAS programming, trust me, after this class, you yourself feel confident, start working in SAS. That is what, or you can also, having this content, having this material, you can also stand strong tomorrow asking for job. That much confidence I'm giving to you. Just have patience. Post class, we have further slides to be discussed. But before getting into those slides, I really want to start the class in a very practical way. I just want to make you all unmute here so that you can speak to me. Hey guys, my voice is clear.
Yes, sir.
My system is looking to you. You can see my screen properly.
Yes.
Yes,
Very
sir.
nice. I'm again going to mute you guys here because I have to start the class. I'm very sorry, but I have to do it. Okay, now I'm going to start now. I'll start from the very scratch. What is scratch means? How to go for connecting to the SAS environment. I will say SAS on demand academics. The moment I click on it, it opens here. This is called SAS on demand academic for the academic students. I can say access. I have created my login ID. If it is not yours, you can start creating your login ID. I will use my username. I'll also put my password. Yes. What happened? Okay. Let me log in here. Okay. The moment I log in here, I can enter into my SAS studio. It is free, guys. And you can access SAS anywhere, anytime, but you need to have internet access. This is the window which is called SAS Studio window. We will start writing the programs here. I will start from the scratch, step by step, how to go for doing it. Remember, guys, very importantly, this server files and folders, followed by tasks and utilities, snippets, libraries, and the shortcuts. We have to go to first server and file folder. I want to go for in this file, I want to create something called new. I want to create a new folder called SAS workshop. Let me write that SAS workshop. The moment I write SAS workshop, I can see my folder has been created here. Soon after see my folder is created, what will I do the next? I would be doing it here. Right click, I'll create 4 folders inside this. First one, I want to create this as my data folder. I call A1 dot data. So inside workshop, I have a data folder. Again, inside this workshop, I want to go for creating my another folder where I'll call this SAS A2.SAS code. I write here A2.SAS code here. Soon after this SAS code, I want to go for creating here a new folder to this called A3.SAS datasets. I want to keep all my tables inside this. Then I will be going for creating one more folder to this, which is very important. That is called A4.SAS output. Remember, guys, when you start working in SAS, you must create these 4 folders. One is your data. Second one is a code where you want to save your code. SAS, this is the data set where you want to keep your data sets. Whatever the code output, you want to store into the output window here. That is the output folder. Now let's go for creating a program window. Right click on the program, SAS code, right click, new, and create a SAS program, which is F4. Now this program, I want to save it. I'll say Control S, or I can click on this. The moment is you're going to click, it is saying where you want to save this program. Workshop. I'll go to this, expand this. Inside this, I want to save this called SAS workshop code. That's it. I save this code with extension called .sas. The moment I create this here, what happens? Inside this, my SAS code is coming. Wonderful. I got my SAS code where I will write the program. Log, where I will check the error or warning messages. Results, I want to see my code output, how it is coming. Now let's start here. Before getting into SAS, we have to understand the SAS jargons. First of all, understand, guys, SAS stands for statistical analysis system. Don't say software. It is analysis system. That is how you need to remember this is SAS full form. To comment this, select this control question mark to comment, control question mark to uncomment. Now you just comment this here. Now let's put a line so that is going to my header that I want to start today with SAS statistical analysis system. What is the jargons? In SAS, how to go for jargons. Now let me go ahead here, opening the folder which is open for you. Going back to your data folder, I must copy this folder. I'll be taking to a SAS code where actually I want to start with this. I want to start with data reading first. You know what, guys? Data reading in SAS, first we need to understand jargons. What is jargons? Imagine this is what I want to create now. Okay. So what is it saying here? There is a table. Let me go for expanding the table so that you can read this properly. Done. Okay. This is my table. Okay. Now in SAS versus SQL, what we call. Let's say in SQL and in SAS, the difference. Now the difference is that in SQL we call this as database where you want to keep your tables. But in SAS we call it is as a library. In SQL we call this as a table. In SAS we call this as a data set. In SQL we call this as columns or fields. In SAS we call this as variables. In SQL, we call this as records. In SAS, we call this as observation. That is the only difference in terms of the jargons we have to remember. One, two, three, four is very, very important to understand about the SAS jargons. Now, when you say this is what my table, just to explain this table, how will I go for explaining this to? Let me explain it here by expanding these columns. Just to give you the dataset name in SAS, dataset name, I want to give it to or table name, which you call dataset name, called student underscore inquiry. This is my student inquiry is the dataset name. Now it is having variable one. It is having how many variables here? Having 6 variables. It is having observation. How many observation here? It is having 5 observation. That is how we need to understand. This is called my header. This is called as column headers. So this is how I'll start reading my data when I will get into SAS environment. Now I need to understand data type. Variable one, it is called integer, numeric data type. Student name is called character. It's a character data type. Gender is also character data type. Date, it is called date data type. Education is definitely your character data type. You have to understand this is called as a character data type. This is going to be also as a character data type. What will happen since we understand what is called variables, since we understand what is called observations, now we also understood each variable, what is their data types. I hope everyone understood this here. Now let's go and create this table in your SAS environment. You know what, guys, I will do first? I'll be going to my SAS ODA. I want to go for creating a data set. First, I write SAS jargons for my understanding or explaining to you guys. I will say SQL versus SAS. What does it mean? The number one, database in SQL equal to library in SAS. Remember this. Second, tables in SQL equal to data set in SAS. Third, you call columns in SQL equal to variables in SAS. Fourth, records in SQL equals to observations in SAS. So that's how we understand remembering this program. Now let's start the program. Let's create a data set called student underscore inquiry. So how to go for creating this in SAS programming? Since you have this data, I write data program student underscore inquiry. That means I'm creating a table. Input, the column input, I can take my header, copy and paste it. When you are copying and pasting in Excel to here, it is going to by default, the delimiter is going to in between this header is going to be tab. Just remove this tab over here. Perfect. Now what happens, guys? Student ID for you, it is integer. You don't have to define any length. But student name is a character. Just in SAS, you have to put a dollar. Dollar means it's a character. Gender is a character, dollar. Date time field, which is coming as what? DDMMYY field. It's okay, fine, no problem. So you can keep it as it is. Education is character, course is character. Just put education is dollar and course is also dollar. Dollar, but give dollar with 20 is a length. Now I can use cards to copy paste this data. When I copy paste, what will happen? It'll go with tab as a delimiter. But if I do not want to keep this tab, what will I do here? I can cut this. I can open a Word file. Let me open the Word file for you guys here. I'll be copying this Word file to this, paste it. I will say wherever this tab is coming, Control C, Control H, Control V, replace this by one space only, replace all. That's it. I have done. So now, since I have this data, I can copy this and I paste it here. I will say run. What will happen for date of birth? I haven't defined any data type. I'll use in SAS called in format. Date of birth, it is in DD, MM, YY 10 dot format. And I'll say format to date of birth as DD, MM, DD, YY 10 dot format. I'll say what I'm doing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The date value is DDMMYY format 10. Now, if I run this program, what is happening? I can see my dataset has been created here. My dataset name is going by default work library. So I'll talk about library now. Now it is going to create dataset called student underscore inquiry. This is having these many variables. Student ID is 1, 2, 3 means numeric. Student name is character A. Gender is character. Date is date time. Date of birth is date time field. Education is character and course is also character. If you look at this table, this is how the table looks like. Just to print this table, what do you see here? Proc print data is equal to dataset name here. So guys, what happens here when you run this program, you see your table output, which is coming HTML output. Now you can see your table. How does it look like? By default is shown the observation. There are 5 observations. Student ID, student name, gender, date of birth, education, course details are coming, or everything is coming out here. But very importantly, I want to say you something, guys. When you run this program, you go to the log window. What does it says that? It says, look at this. It says that when you created this data set, it went to your work library. That means if you go back to the libraries here, if you expand the libraries, you can go to the work library. You can see that library student inquiry table is created here. But the disadvantage of the work library, the moment you close this program, everything is going to vanish. What we'll do here, how to store? To store data set into a permanent library. That means library is equal to what? Database. So how would you go for creating your own database in SAS? Now let me show you here. I create lib name is the statement. Library name is called workshop. I give this as workshop. Then I'll give the path. Which path you want to give it? Go to the file folder. In this dataset, SAS dataset, you want to keep all the datasets inside this. This is going to be your database path or library path. Right click, properties, copy this location, go to libname workshop and give this location path and say run. When you say run, what will happen here? It says that your library, your workshop library is successfully created. Just copy this all code, whatever is given here, just copy this here. Copy and paste it. This means your library has successfully assigned, created. Now, how to get this data set inside the library? To get this data set student underscore inside inquiry inside the library, I have to call workshop dot student underscore inquiry. That means if you go to the libraries now, you see your workshop library is created, but there is no data set inside. Now, if you run this program, you are referring, now it's saying workshop dot student inquiry has been created. If you go back to the libraries, if you go to the workshop, you see your student underscore inquiry dataset has been created. So this is how we created. Now if we want to call this, we'll say proc print data is equal to student underscore inquiry. That is going to call from the library workshop dot student underscore inquiry, where you can run this query to see the output is coming from your library. So that this is how we understand what we understand. First of all, how to create a data set, how to refer a data set to a library. This is what we understand from this. Now, I need to explain the SAS code. Explain the SAS code before I move to the next step. When we have written this code, when I say explain to the SAS code means what? When I have written this code, when I say data workshop dot this, I will write here data is a statement which creates a data set in the data set called student underscore inquiry in the library reference to workshop. That's it. And very importantly, next, input. Input is a statement. It defines the column input with their data types and length. Okay. What is informat? Informat is a statement to read date value into SAS format. It is for reading. What is format? Format is a statement to write the date value in SAS format. That is in format to read and format to write. Every time you are going to use the date value, you have to use in format and format. What is cards? Cards is a statement is used to. What? Cards is a statement is used to create temporary data lines. What is run statement? Run statement to execute the program. That's where we go for run statement. What is proc print statement? Proc print statement to print the result of the data set in the output window. Does it make sense to all, everyone? Hey guys, are you able to understand what I'm writing here, everyone? Guys, are you able to understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what we will do here, since we understand the programming, we'll talk about SAS programming based on number one, identifying the library, right? The database. Second, select the data set. Third is all about statements. Fourth is all about options. Fifth is all about functions. What does that mean? This is very, very essential thing about SAS programming. Now I'll show you this example here. Imagine given this table to you. I write here I go for creating a student name equal to uppercase, a student name. Okay. Now I want to get birth underscore year. How will I get the birth underscore year? I will say the year function which will retrieve the value from the date of birth. Now I'm saying here ops equal to 3. There are 5 observations. I'm saying ops equal to 3. I run the program here. Ultimately, what is happening here, guys? The name is coming in capital. Now, from the date of birth, you're retrieving the year and you're printing only 3 observations. In this case, what is happened? Understand. When you say library, can anyone let me unmute you guys to ask you this question? Can anyone tell me, guys, what is the library name here? What's the library name?
STU,
What is
sorry,
the library? What is the library name, guys? Here,
Workshop.
workshop.
workshop is the library. Very good.
Workshop underscore STU.
T.
What is the STU? Workshop is the library. What the dataset name, guys? Here,
STU,
HQ
ENQ.
underscore ENQ.
very good. Now tell me all statements in this program. What are those statements? Data is a statement. Input is a statement.
Input, in format,
In
format,
format is a
cards.
statement. Format is a statement. Cards is a statement. Run is a statement. And proc print is a statement. We need now what is called options. In this case, when you say ops equal to 3, it is called an option. What is called functions in this program? In this case, the functions are going to be when you say op case of student name, which is going to come as capital letter. When you say year function of date of birth to retrieve the year value from the, this is where we need to understand the programming part. Is this clear to all of you guys, everyone? Is this clear?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So ultimately what happened? As per the given content, okay? As per the given content, let me put it over here this way. So we just now completed SAS programming jargons, understanding the SAS programming library, dataset, statements, options, and functions. Now let's understand what is called SAS programming steps. Now I will do something for you to explain what is called SAS programming steps.
But functions only 2 steps, only 2 things.
Just wait for some time and please don't raise any questions in between. Please wait. I'll definitely discuss. SAS programming steps we need to start with. So what we'll do now, let's get over here called SAS programming steps. So what is SAS programming steps? Let me start here. Whenever we write the program, guys, in this program, this is called SAS programming. This is called data to run statement is called data step, right? And the proc print to run statement is called proc step. So there are 2 steps in SAS programming. You can say in the SAS programming, we have 2 steps. What are those? One is data step, starts with data statement and ends with run statement to create the data set. Now, what is called proc step? Second is called proc step. Proc step means starts with proc print and ends with run statement to print the output. This is how we have to remember what is data step and proc step. Next, we'll talk about here how to go for data importing and exporting in SAS. Now let's start with data importing and exporting in SAS. So what I'll do now, guys, here, I have given the folder. Inside this data folder, now I have given this data importing and exporting the three different files. Insurance file in Excel file. If I open this Excel file, it's saying that this is the insurance data set. Sheet 1, the data is located here. Then you have insurance policy master in text file. The text file looks like this way. If you look at the first line, policy ID with policy open date with policy type, every field is comma by comma delimiter is separated by comma. That means a text file, comma delimiter file. And we also have a CSV file. It looks like an Excel file, but not an Excel file. It's a flat file, but it is a CSV file. Now we will be going to read data from where, let me save this file over here. I want to read this data from these three files to my SAS environment. What I'll do first, I cannot connect SAS cloud directly to my local system. I'll go back to this. I'll go to SAS workshop. I'll go to the data, right click. I will say upload files. Where you want to upload the file? I'll be going back to the SAS workshop, data importing and exporting. I see all these three files here. Select all these three files, say open and say upload. What happened here? Your all three files have been uploaded to this folder, Excel file, text file, and CSV file. The question comes how to go for importing data from an Excel file. To import data from an Excel file. Okay. What we will do here to read the data from Excel file, always remember, guys, use options valid var name is an option equal to V7. What does it do? No matter what is the header in your data set, while importing, it will automatically correct the variable name or field name as per SAS convenient. That's why we have to call this before importing the data. To import data, we have to use proc import out equal to, I'll say workshop is my library dot, I will say insurance underscore master data set. Then I will say here data file. I want to give the file path, which is the Excel file. Right click properties, copy this location path from here and give this path to this. Then you write here dbms is equal to xlsx. Replace this, the keyword you have to use. Then you just simply go here and say run the program. See what is happening. When you say run the program, what is happened? It is importing the data for you. It is imported. Total 1000 observations, 9 variables. Your data with data types are all coming out here. What is character? A. What is date time? Date time icon. What is one numeric? 1, 2, 3 is the icon there. Now I understand how to go for importing data. This has gone to my workshop library. Go to the library here, expand this library, go to this workshop. You can see you have created earlier you created student inquiry. Now you have insurance master dataset has been created. Now I'll talk about how to import data from a text file. So we'll talk about importing data from a text file. In this text file, I want to call this, let's say, master version 1. Because already I have a dataset with insurance master, I call this as a version 1. There, I go back to my file, right click, properties. I copy this entire path from this and I go over here. Right? And DBMS, I will write DLM replace, delimiter replace. And what would be my delimiter here? I will say it's a comma delimiter because I have seen the data file is with comma delimiter. You can always see here, right click, open. You can see your data is coming with comma as a delimiter. Now, if you run this program, what will happen? It is happening that your dataset has been created as version 1. You can also go back to the libraries where you can see in the workshop that your dataset is coming as insurance version 1. What the next thing you want to do here? You copy this code. You want to go for reading data from a CSV file. So I call the dataset name as a version 2. What will I do here? I'll go back to my file, which is the CSV file. Right click, I will say the location, properties, copy this location path from here and paste this. The moment you paste this here, you will write CSV replace, not DLM. DLM for delimiter file. CSV, there is no delimiter required. You just simply run the program here. What you see, your data has been imported from the CSV file to here. So if you see your data sets, inside this data set, you see your data set is coming with extension of .sas 7b dat. You can also see the same data set in your libraries, which has been stored. So guys, there are two things you need to understand. SAS code stores with an extension of .sas. If you go to the code, here, it stores with .sas file, right? Now, SAS dataset stores with an extension of .sas 7b dat file. You have to remember SAS code means .sas file. SAS dataset means .sas 7b dat file. Next, how to go for exporting data? Since we completed the importing data from this file, now let's talk about exporting data. Exporting data from SAS to other source, other files. So how to go for exporting data? Now let's take an example. We have created a table called student inquiry. Now let's go print here. Proc print data is equal to student underscore inquiry, which is there in the library called workshop. So what is happening guys here? If you run this program, you see your output is coming. There are 5 records, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 variables. Now let's go for exporting the same table. Where you want to export? You want to export to the output folder here. For exporting data, what you can do here guys, let me show it here. You will write proc export data is equal to dataset name. Right here, out file, where you want to export it to, output folder, right click properties, copy the file path. Right, file path. Then give the file name called student underscore inquiry 2026 or student underscore inquiry dv.xlsx file. You want to store this to Excel file. dbms is equal to xlsx. Replace. Simply you go and write the program like this. What is happening here? If you run the program, it's saying that data has been exported to export dataset 5 observation 7 variables. The export dataset has created. If you go back to the output folder, you can see there is an Excel file is created. Student inquiry dv. Right click. You can say download the file. Now the file has been downloaded here. You can check your file in the downloaded folder. It is coming like this. This the data has been exported from SAS to an Excel file. Same way, how to go for exporting data to text file to CSV file. Now let's do this over here. This is called exporting to Excel file. Now we'll talk about exporting to text file. To exporting to text file, just call this as .txt. dbms called dlm replace. Go for giving this delimiter as I'll say equal sign, comma. Now when you run this program, what you see? Program exported successfully. You can see the txt file has been created. If you open, you can see it is going with what comma delimiter file. If you want to export, download the file here. You can see the file has been downloaded with the name called student inquiry, comma as a delimiter in the data file. This is how we understood how to go for importing and exporting data to txt file. How to go for exporting data to a CSV file. To do it for the CSV file, you have to change it to extension called CSV, and you have to write here DBMS as CSV replace. No need to worry about anything else. That's it. Run the program, see the output which is coming. Now you have your CSV file, right click, download the file, where you can see the file has been created with CSV format. This is how you get this output. Does it make sense to all, everyone? Guys, do you understand how to go for importing and exporting data in SAS environment,
Yes, I
everyone?
understand.
Yes, sir.
Right. Next, we are going to discuss here. The next topic is what? Data importing, exporting is over. Now let's talk about data querying. How to go for data querying using keep, drop, rename, filter, and conditional variable. Now let's talk about here data querying from our data set in SAS by using keep, drop, rename, where, if, then condition. Now let's talk about this one by one example over here. You know what, guys? For this querying, I have a data set which I have kept it here. For querying data set, I have to go for importing made underscore 2026. Let me explain this data to you. Hey guys, this is the data which is coming from Australia. Whenever the customer visited to the medicine store like MedPlus, Dr. Reddy's, Religare, Apollo, this medicine store, they capture the customer with unique identification number, capturing when this customer got registered in their store, what the gender, what the age of this customer, which state they're belonging to, which town they're coming from, how many times they visited, and how much they spend in their store. These all information will be captured. Now let's go for importing this data to your SAS environment and start querying this data. To do this, what I will do first is that I'll go back to my SAS workshop. Let me collapse everything. I'll start with data, right click, upload a file, choose the file. I want to choose this file from my query data, made underscore 2026. I want to go for upload this file here. Now the data has come here as made 2026. What will I do now here? I'll say options valid var name is equal to v7 because I never know whether the variable names are as per SAS convenient or not. Just to go back here and look at this Excel file, there's a tab name called made underscore 2025. I have to give this sheet name, otherwise it will be throwing an error. I will write proc import out is equal to workshop is the library dot made underscore 2026. Then I write here data file is equal to right click properties, copy this file path. You will write here dbms is equal to xlsx, replace sheet name is equal to made 2026. Then you have to put a semicolon here. Then you call run. I believe the sheet name is made underscore 2026. Just let me check. Yeah, made 2025. So I'll be giving this as made 2025. Otherwise, it would have thrown error to me. The moment I run this program, I see my dataset has created with 5,112 rows. To see the list of variables, in the data set. What I'll do here, to see the list of variables in the data set, I will write proc contents data is equal to dataset name is this var num, the variable number with proper positions, short, and say run. If I use these options in this proc contents statement, it shows me the list of variables in the dataset. I can copy those variables and I can paste it over here. What I see, the first variable name is customer ID, second is company, third variable name is card registration date, fourth is card active, then it is first use date, then the first store, the title of this customer, the gender of this customer, what is the maximum spent by the customer, what is the date of birth of this customer, what the age of this customer, which state code they're belonging to, which postal code they're coming from, what the customer status, which is active or inactive, what the registration type of this customer, how many times this customer visit, a number of trips, which town they're belonging to, do they have email indicator for marketing, and how much they spent. This all information is captured from this data set. Now let's create a new data set from an existing data set by keeping few variables. What does it mean? It means I will be creating a new data set called data made underscore 2026 version 1, which I'm creating in the work library. If I don't define any library name, I will be creating this work library from which data set I will use a statement called set this. That means I'm copying data from this data set to this using set statement. I will use keep customer underscore ID. I want to keep company. I want to keep gender. I want to keep age. I want to keep state underscore code. I want to keep the town. I want to keep number of trips. And I want to keep spent underscore amount field only. So the field which is there, spend amount, number of trips, town, state code, age, gender, customer ID, company. These are the fields I've selected. The moment I run this program, only those fields selected, these fields selected, a new dataset created called work library by default. If I do not refer any library, it is going to work library is created here. Understood? Same way, to create a dataset by dropping variables. What does it mean? Let's create a dataset here. I use drop. Drop with what? Rest all variable names. I can put it this way. I can copy this here. I can say drop, select these variables and semicolon. Now these variables, what I want to drop here? I want to drop here customer ID company. I want to drop these two columns. I want to drop this. I want to drop date of birth. I want to keep state code. I want to drop this. I want to drop this. I want to keep town. I want to keep spend amount. So that means I'm creating a data set by dropping these variables, keeping the remaining, I'll say version 2. It goes to which library? Work library now. See, by dropping those variables, it is only keeping these variables which is important for your data set. This is how we understand how to go for dropping variables. Now let's go for to rename variables. What is rename variables? For example, you take this code over here, call dataset name is version 3. Customer ID, I will use a statement here. Rename customer ID as subscriber ID I'll call this as subscriber ID. I'll also call state code equal to province. So ultimately what I'm doing, I'm renaming customer to subscriber ID and state code to province. The moment I run this program, what is happening? I can see the field has been changed to subscriber ID. The state code has been changed to province. This is how I can rename the variable while reading it. Now, filter values using where statement. What is called that? Let me show you here. Let's say, guys, I create version 4 dataset. I did not want to rename anything, but here I give a condition where company is equal to Apollo and gender is equal to, it is case sensitive. If gender is this way, capital F small EMALE, I have to write that gender is female. I also want to go for and age greater than equal to 50 and state underscore code is equal to, let me copy a code QLD. So I just give a filter to the data by this. Now what happens if I run this program? It is going to create a data set having Apollo, female, age greater than 50 and QLD. So this is where I use where. So what is happening here? We have used where as a statement, company as operand, equal sign is an operator, Apollo is a conditional value. So like that, we have to remember when you are using where statement, you are going with operators, operand, equal sign is operator, this is the conditional value. Same way and is operator, gender is operand, equal is an operator, female is a conditional value. So this is how we go for using where statement in SAS to put the data in conditional. Next, we'll go for if then logic in SAS programming. So how to go for doing that, guys, here? So let me do this here. Hey guys, are you able to understand what I'm writing here?
Yes,
I-
sir.
yes. Okay. Now we are going to talk about if then logic. What is if then logic? Let me start here. I created this data set called version 5, keeping those variables. I want to add one more variable called age underscore bucket. How do you go for age bucket? You write here if the customer age is greater or equal to 60, then you want to call this customer as old age, right? Else, if age greater than equal to 40, then you want to customer call this as mid old age. Then else you want to call this customer as young age. That's what you want to give the condition. So I've given this condition to create my age bucket. But very importantly, guys, when you go for the age bucket, you know the maximum length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have to define length of age bucket is $20 dot. Just to give the length of this variable first. If you run this program, I got some error here. Why I got the error? Go to the log window. It's saying that you did something wrong. What wrong I did here? I put a semicolon after everything. Can you see this? I'm not supposed to put the semicolon here. I should put the semicolon here. Now when I say, then I have to call the field name to this, age bucket to this, age bucket to this, and then else age bucket to this. After giving this variable, you can put a semicolon. That is the right approach to write the program. The moment you run the program now, you see your data is coming perfectly, where you see your age bucket is coming here. Based on this age of the customer, if the customer is 41, it is called as mid old age. If the customer is coming 67, it is called old age customer. If the customer is coming as 38, 39, they call them as young age customer. This is how we go for writing if nested if conditions, and that is what we covered now. Now we'll talk about how to go for sorting data set. So how do you go for doing the sorting data set? Now let's do this example here. How to sort data set in SAS programming. To go for sorting data set in SAS programming, what we will do here, I have a data set. Let me show you guys here. This is the data set. Now let's go for creating this data set in your SAS environment manually. What will I do here? I will say data call candidate score. And where I want to take this data set, it is going by default work library. I say input, the column inputs are going to be this. Candidate name, applications, company, and score. What I do here, the candidate name is character. I'll put it here as dollar. Application is character. I'll put it here as dollar. Company is coming as character. I'll put it as dollar. Since score is numeric, I'll keep it as it is, cards. Then I'll go for copying this data. You know what, guys? I copy this data now. I open a notepad for you guys. Right? I open a notepad here where I paste this data. I know in notepad, this is coming with tab as a delimiter. I say Control C, Control H. Wherever the tab is coming, replace this by comma. So ultimately what happened here, your data has become comma delimiter file. I just cut all this data. I go back to my SAS environment and I just paste it here. Now what happens, guys? Your cards data is comma delimiter. I can use here in file statement. In file, my data is going to read from cards, DSD, data sensitive delimiter, DLM is equal to comma. If I do that, what will happen? It is going to read the data for you, candidate score, and let's see how data looks like. Oh, your data is coming. Since you have not defined the length, by default SAS reads 8 character, but I want to have all the name. It should be coming as full name. So what I'll do here to get the full name, here, I will say colon, make it to $30 dot. Applications, company called colon dot 15 dot as a length. I never know. It may be 15. Applications colon. It may be $10 dot. Maybe 10 character length. Now if I run this program, you know what? I see my dataset has been created. It goes to default work library. Now I see the full dataset is coming. Now what is called sorting and how will you go for sorting dataset? Let's say I want to get the result student SAS SQL Python. Now let's look at here. Student SAS SQL Python Infosys. Student SAS SQL Python Machine Learning AI in Wipro. Student SAS SQL Python in TCS. I want to see that is student wise, company wise, what is the highest scoring application name? What will I do now? So get student and company wise highest scoring application name. I want to go for getting this output. In SAS, we use proc sort data. Dataset name is called candidate score, right? Then by The first variable name is candidate name. Second variable name, you don't have to put comma, called company. Third variable name called score, but score should be descending. You write descending before score, semicolon, and run. If you do that, what is happening? It happens Anita Singh alphabetically ascending order. Infosys, the highest scoring application name is AI followed by machine learning to SQL. Anita Singh in TCS, the highest scoring application is SQL followed by AI. Anita Singh in Wipro, the highest scoring application name is machine learning and AI. Now let's do one thing. Next question. Get student and application wise highest scoring company name. To get this, we have to run this tweak here. Candidate, you change it to application and descending of the score. When you do not define anything by this is ascending, score is going descending only. If you run this query, you can see your data has been exported. Your data has been sorted here with what? With application AI, Anita Singh, highest scoring company name is Infosys. Anita Singh, machine learning, the highest scoring company name is Infosys. Anita Singh for Python, the highest scoring company is Wipro. Anita Singh for SAS, the highest scoring company is TCS. Anita Singh for SQL, the highest scoring company is TCS. This is how we sort the data to read the data properly through indexing. Now we are going to start with a major part of it. Joining, relationship, and data modeling. Before going for joining, hey guys, I want to ask you, do you understand the SAS programming?
Yes, sir.
Is this
Yes.
helping you?
Yes.
Okay. Now guys, we're going to talk here about SAS joining. What is SAS joining? Now, let's go and understand what is SAS joining. SAS joinings are two types. One is called vertical join. Vertical join means appending tables. Second one is called horizontal join. Horizontal join means merging tables. What does it mean? Now I'll show that in an example here. Going back to this data, if I go to this join data, let me copy this file, or maybe I copy this folder here, take it to the SAS code file. I'll explain here. In this, I show this data to you. So guys, when you say joining, joins are two types. One is vertical join. Second one is called horizontal join. I'll explain to you what is vertical join. Vertical join means appending tables. This is called merging tables. What does it mean? Now, vertical join, which means appending table, let's talk about that. This is definitely your concept. Now let's understand this. You have given these three tables. Okay. You have given made Apollo data, made Cipla data, and made Geno data. Three different data sets. When you say appending, what does it mean? It means it creates a new table called made all. It takes the data from Apollo. It takes data from Cipla below this. It takes data from Geno below this to copy. This is called appending data sets so that you can see in one table, you got all these three table data are coming. Now the question is coming, how to do that in SAS first? Now let's talk about here in SAS programming, how to go for doing vertical join in SAS. First, let's do this example. To create this, I'll go for data. Made underscore Apollo is the dataset name. Input, I'll define the input of these datasets are this. Customer ID, company, gender, age, state code, postal code, and number of trips. Semicolon. I'll use cards to copy my data. I know if I copy my data, it will be having what tab? Control C, Control H. Control C this tab, Control H. Wherever this tab, I want to replace this by a space. Replace all. So I can see my dataset is coming here, or I can say Control C, Control H, or let it be tab. How does it matter? I want to go with tab. Let's copy this data and take it to SAS. I'll go with tab. Why will I change anything? I'll go with tab. Let it be tab. Now, customer ID is going to what? It is number. Company is what? It's a character. Gender is what? It's character. State code is what? Is character. Dollar. Postal code is numeric. Number of trips are numeric. In this case, I will use in file cards DSD DLM is equal to 09x. 09x is for what? Reading data when is a tab delimiter. Now if I run this program, is it create my data set? Oh, it is creating my made Apollo data set. Perfect. Is created. Same way I will do for another two data sets. One is made Cipla and made Geno. This is for made Cipla and this is for made Geno. What will I do? Nothing. Just copy this data and paste it here. Done. Same thing for Geno. Copy this data and paste it here. Done. So what I did here, I created Apollo, I created Cipla, I created Geno dataset as well. I can go here, I can see Cipla dataset, I can see your Geno dataset also. Now, to append all these three datasets to one as made all, what will you do? It's very simple, guys. In SAS, you can simply write data made underscore all set. It'll go with what? Made Apollo, made Cipla, and made Geno. If you run this program, what is happening here? You can see all these three dataset has been appended to one dataset. Is it happened so, everyone? Hey guys, do you understand how appending
Yes, sir.
happening in SAS?
Yes, sir.
We use set statement to read data from one dataset to another and also use for appending multiple datasets to one. This is very important, guys. We need to understand what is the use of set statement. Now we'll talk about what is called horizontal join, which means merging datasets. Now let's talk about that over here. You have given these two table, right? You're given this two table, which is called student education details and student occupation details. My question to all of you guys, what is a common field in both the tables? Student education and student occupation. What is the common field, guys?
Student ID.
So, first of all, please go on mute, guys. Okay. First of all, we have to identify left table and we have to identify right table. In this case, The left table name is what? Student underscore education. The right table is called student underscore occupation. Now, since you have a table here, right table, and you have a left table, what is the common field? The common field from this table, it is student underscore ID, right? What is the common field from that table? It is also student underscore ID. So ultimately, what is happening? You have these two data sets are there. Now, when you say I want to merging data set means you are taking this data, you are also taking this data. In both this table, the common field is student ID. Out of this, there are two records in the left table which is not common to the right table. There are two records in the right table which is not common to the left table. So ultimately, when you merge, what is happening? It is going to give you the result of what is common and what is not common from the left table and what is not common from the right table. So ultimately, your merging output will come like this. Total of 9 records. What does it signifies here? It is that student ID 1 to 5, you have the complete details like name, gender, education, year of experience, company, and the salary. But student ID S6, S7, you have the name, gender, education, but you do not have their year of experience, company, and salary information. At the same time, from the right table, S8, S9, student ID, where you have their year of experience, company, salary, but you do not have their name, gender, education. So what happens? When you merge data sets, we have to understand these type of joinings are very, very important. First one is inner join to get common records. Then we have something called as full join to get both common and uncommon records. Then you have unmatched join. Unmatched join means what? Unmatched means the record which is not common in both the table to get both uncommon records. That's it. Then you have a left join, which means to get all the records from the left table and common from the right table. Then there is something called left null join. What does it means? To get records in the left table and not in the right table. Then you have something called right join. That means to get all the records from the right table and common record from the left table. Then right null join. What is right null join? What is right null join, guys? Right null join means to get records in the right table and not in the left table. That's what we have to do one by one examples now only. So first thing is that we want to get the output for inner join. So how to get this output for inner join? Let me show you here in this way. Inner join means the record which is common from both the tables, which is going to be this and this only. Only 5 records will come. When you say I want to get full join, what is full join means? Record common from both the tables record in the left table, not in right table, record in the right table and not in the left table also. So this is called full join. When you say unmatched join, unmatched means which is not common in both the tables. What is that? From the left table S6, S7 and from the right table S8, S9. So that's how you will be getting only 4 records. Then something called your left join. What is left join? Left join means record entirely from the left table. All the records from the left table. That is there. And common records from the right table, which is going to be this. So ultimately you are going to have these many records. That is called as left join. When you say I want to go for left null join, that means record in the left table but not in the right table. That is going to be S7, S6 and S7. Then you would be talking about here right join. What is right join? Entire record from the right table. Entire record from the right table and common record from the left table, which is this. So this is called as your right join, which takes entire record from the right table and common from the left table. What is called right null join? Right null join means record in the right table but not in the left table. That is what is in com. Now I want to get all these joinings into SAS programming. What will I do now first? Let me go here. I'll talk about here as horizontal join means merging tables. So how to go for merging tables? First of all, you have to create these two data sets. Let's say data student underscore education. Input, I take this as my column header, as my column input. Student ID, student name, gender, and the education. Semicolon. Student ID is what? Alphanumeric, which is character. Student name is what? It's a character. Gender is what? It's also a character. What is the education? Education is also character. So put this all. Then copy this data, go to cards and paste this, then run. I know that when I copy paste from Excel, my in file would be cards, DSD data sensitivity limiter, DLM is equal to 09X. This is the DLM for tab. If I run proc print data is equal to student education. What is happening here, guys? I get this output for student education. Same thing I want to create here data student underscore occupation. How would I go for doing this? Input, copy this header and paste it here. Right? Now, what we'll do here, we'll say cards, copy this data here, semicolon run. Student is alphanumeric is character, experience is numeric, JP Morgan is going to be colon, dollar, 10 or let's say 15 dot. You never know. In file, in this case, we'll be talking about in file cards DSD DLM equal to 09X or tab. I'll say proc print data is equal to student occupation. Semicolon and say run. If I run this program, I get the output is coming here. To merge data sets, in SAS, we have to follow these rules. The first rule says that identify the left and the right table. Second, identify the common field. Third, sort both the data sets by common fields before merging them. What does it mean? In this case, I know student education, the left data set is student education, right data set is student occupation, common field is student ID. Now to sort both the data sets, proc sort data is equal to student education by common field, which is student ID. You have to sort the dataset first before going for merging these datasets. Copy. You can go for student occupation also and run. Once you run this program, you have sorted both the datasets. Now let's talk about how to go for inner join in SAS. Inner join in SAS merging. We'll write data student all merge. Dataset name is called left table student education, right table student occupation. Call student education as in equal to A table. Call student occupation in is equal to as B table as an alias. Then use by student underscore ID is the common field. If A equals to 1 and B equals to 1 and run. If you run this program, what will happen here? Proc print data is equal to student all. When you say if A equal to 1 and B equal to 1, it will take only the common records in SAS merging. Are you getting this, guys, everyone?
Yes,
Guys,
sir.
are you getting this? Now, we use in SAS SQL. We use SQL in SAS. For that, we write proc SQL and we write quit. In between, we write the SQL program. Select, just print both the dataset, this one. So just to see the table to be printed, so let's write here. Select student underscore ID is the first column. Then student underscore name, second column. Third, gender. Fourth, education. Right? Then from this other table called student underscore ID, since you want to call first table as A table, call A dot. This is also called A dot. This is also called A dot. This is also called A dot. But this is from B dot because it's coming from the right table. Then B dot year of experience, B dot company, then B dot salary, B dot salary. From what? From student education as A table, inner join student occupation as B table on the common field A dot student underscore ID is equal to B dot student underscore ID. If you run this program in SQL by putting number as observation, if you run this program, what you see here, it's saying 5 records are coming, common records are coming from both the tables. Student ID, name, gender, education, you have their year of experience, company and salary. Now Copy both the queries here. This time we'll talk about how to go for getting your full join. For getting full join in SAS merging, we have to write A equal to 1 or B equals to 1. If we do this program, it comes as what? All 9 records, S6, S7, data is missing in the right table, S7, S8, data is missing in the left table. All these records are coming common and uncommon. What syntax? A equal to 1 or B equal to 1, not and. In your SQL programming, you have to just write full join, nothing else. If you run this program, it gives you common, uncommon from the left, uncommon from the right table. Next question coming, how to go for getting unmatched join. To get unmatched join, you write here A equal to 0 or B equals to 0. When I write A equals to 0 or B equals to 0, it is going to give you all uncommon record from both the tables. S6, S7 from the left table, S8, S9 from the right table. But if you want to get the same result using proxy equal, you have to write here where A dot student ID is null or B dot student ID is null. If you run this program, you get this uncommon records. Now we'll go for understanding about left join in SAS merging. To go for left join, what does it mean? It's saying A equal to 1 or B equal to 0. This is going to give you the value of left join, entire part of left table and common from the right table. That is where it is called left join. What is that? A equal to 1 or B equal to 0. If you go for SAS merging, you can say simply call this as a left join. Remove this query here. Just say left join. If you run this program, it takes entire part of left and common from the right table. If you say I want to go for left null join, how to get this output in SAS merging? Left null join will come where A equal to 1 and B equals to 0. This is going to get the value of what? Record in the left table and not in the right table. What is this program? A equal to 1 and B equal to 0. Here in proxy equal, you can write where B dot student underscore ID is null. Then in the left join with B dot student is null as a where condition, you get the value as what? Null here. In left null. If you want to go for looking at how to go for right join. My question to you guys, if I want to make it right join, what will I write here? Can anyone tell me? Can
Zero
anyone?
one. A
What will I write here? Where?
is equal to 0,
And B equal to 1.
1.
Yes. This is right join. And how to get the right null join? A right join in SQL programming, just remove this left join to right join. That's it. Entire part of right and common from the left. If we talk about right null join, now you guys have to answer me how to go for looking at right null join. Can anyone answer how to get the right null join here? What will I write here? Try.
What's up?
And yes, I get this as a right null join value. Then if I want to go for getting this right join, what conditional right here, guys? Can anyone tell me? What right here? Anyone? Where A dot student underscore ID is null. So that's how you completed your SAS merging also. Now we are going to do what? SAS functions. Now let's understand what is SAS functions. So I'll do this SAS functions for you now, guys, here. Okay. So what I'll do now, let me go back. I'll talk about SAS functions. Before getting into SAS functions, let me show you the dataset first. There is a dataset which is given SAS function data. This is given sales data. If you can see here, order ID, order date, customer ID, customer name, the date of birth of the customer, product ID, the product name, category, which brand, how many units sold out, the price, what is discount was given, how much profit margin was given to them. So this is all given data to you. Now what you want to do? You want to transform the data. From order date, you want to get order year, order month in number, order month in words. You want to get order year month 2025-01, order quarter, what is the quarter, customer ID, customer name. From customer name, you want to retrieve the customer first name, last name. From date of birth, you want to get the customer age here. Then you want to make units into comma separator. You want to make it to price into dollar currency format. You want to make discount and profit into percentage format. You want to multiply units to price to get uh, price to you get discount as a discounted price, and you multiply units to price to get the sales. Now for the profit margin, you want to also get here the sales multiplied by profit margin. What is the profit amount? You want to get it out here. So this is something you want to manipulate the data once you are going to import this file. Now first you do one thing, go back to the SAS program, go to the data, upload the file, browse the file here, function data, just read the data as it is. Done, upload. So it is uploaded now. You have SAS function data. To read this data, the file is open. Let me check it. I want to go for sales data. I call options. So let me write it here this way. Options, valid, var name is equal to V7. This is something I have to write. Then proc import out is equal to workshop library dot prod underscore sales. I just give it the table name like this. Data file, I'll give this file path from here, properties, copy this file path, paste it over here. Then dbms is equal to xlsx, replace, I have to write sheet. I want to write here sheet is equal to sheet sheet name. Sheet name is what? Sales underscore data. Then I will just go for run this program to read the data. It is happened. Data reading is happened now. Now what will I do here? Data transformation using SAS functions. What you will do first? You write proc contents data is equal to dataset name, call varnum and short to get the header. If I run this program, I see my table headers. I just copy these variables. So I can see my variables here. I can simply bring those variables list over here. Okay. Soon after I get those variables over here, what will I do now? I'll write data. Dataset name is called prod sales. New is a new dataset. Set, I'm going to read this data from this dataset, which is there. Then I have these variables. which is called keep. These are the variables. Along with these variables, I want to get what? Order year, order month, order quarter. I just copy paste here. I also want to keep. These are the variables also. I also want to get what? Customer last name, first name. I want to get those variables too. I also want to get what? Age of the customer. I'll also keep these variable too. Then I want to go for calculating these are the fields. So I'll just keep those variables as well. Discounted price. I'll go for the sales. I'll go for the profit margin percentage and I'll get this value. So already I have given profit margin. Profit margin. I'll just remove this. I'll call profit margin, profit amount here. Discount price. I'll be creating here. Okay. Now these are the variables I want to go for creating. Now first of all, how will you get this order year? You will write order year is equal to year function over your order date to get your order year. This is the function. Then how to go for order month as a variable? You will say order month is equal to a month function over this order date. Right? Now how to go for order month name, which is given here. To get order month name, I have to use a function called put order date, comma, you will say month name 10 dot. That's how you want to call this as order month name. How to go for order year month? To get order year month, you will say year value to be multiplied with 100 plus the month value. I run this here. Then next is coming how to go for order quarter. To get the quarter value, there's a function called cat. You will say cat is concatenate cat is with what? Q. There is a function called qtr, which is going to bring the order date quarter here. That's how you can run this here. Next, what do you want to do here, guys? You want to go for customer first name. How to get the customer first name? Given this table where it is given as customer name is Rabi Patel, you have to scan. So there is a function called scan function. Scan of customer name before the space. The first name is before the space. When you say customer last name would be scan after the space means 2. We have done this. Now to calculate the age of the customer, age will be coming from intck is a function. I want to get what? I want to get the year difference between what? The date of birth of the customer to today, bracket start close, and I want to see this by current. What is the age? Then I want to go for calculating the fields. What is that? Discounted price. To get your discounted price, you will say sales sorry. To get your discounted price, you will say it is discounted price. Yes, discounted price is going to be your units, your price to be multiplied with discount rate. That is what you have to calculate. Then to get your sales, you have to get for sales here. Sales, you have to say the units to be multiplied with price. Then to get your profit amount, you will say the sales to be multiplied with profit margin. So this is what we have done. From here onwards, it is all about data transformation and expressions. Now, this is called data transformation and expressions. Now, what we'll do here, data formatting. What is data formatting? As you see, it's saying go for units into your comma separated format and date into MMDDYY format, something like this. So I will say format, the statement starts. There I will be taking order date as MMDDYY 10 dot. Then just take this first column, order date is MMDDYY 10 dot. Go to the units is going to be comma 15 dot. Then go to the next field called price. Price should be $15 dot. Then go for discount rate and profit margin. So select this both. Discount rate is going to be percent 10 dot, and this is also percent 10 dot. Then after this discount, this is gone, you will have this table, sales. Sales as $15 dot, and discounted price also $15 dot, and profit amount is also $15 dot, and then you put semicolon and run the program. If you run this program, what will happen here? Let's run this program here to see the output. The output is coming here. You can see units in number format, price in currency format, discounted in percentage format. You got the order year, you got the order month, you got the order month name in words, order year, month, quarter. Go to the right here. You see customer first name, customer last name. The age of this customer has come. Sales has come after expression in dollar format. Discount price is dollar format. Profit margin also, profit amount is also dollar format. So this is how we can expand the columns and we can see the output now. Having said this, what I'll say, this is where the SAS programming foundation has been completed. Now, as I said, we'll go and discuss about post class. So guys, SAS programming jargons, we understand what is called library. We also understand what is called data set. We understand what is called variables and what is called observations. It's very, very important to know about the SAS jargons. Is this clear to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Very next, we completed how to understand the statements, dataset, options, and the functions. Libname is a library. Library name is mylib here. Data statement to create the dataset in my library, which is called employee salary. Then you can use set statement to read data from an existing table. Length statement define the length of this variable. Pool name using functions. Annual salary using expressions. Hire date is all about functions. Format to read data into SAS format and write data into SAS format. Where is a conditional statement what you want to go for filtering the value. Proc statement is here to print the output, and use of max days is equal to these are the options. So now we understand SAS programming based on libraries, dataset, statement, functions, and options. We should be able to read the data now. Yes or no, guys, everyone? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now the third one is SAS programming steps. We understand data step starting from data statement to run statement to what? To create the data set. Proc step to print the output of a data set. That is where proc print, proc contents, proc means. These are the proc steps. So every programming in SAS based on two steps: data step, proc step. Data step to create data set, proc to print the data set. Data importing and exporting, we understand how to go for importing data from Excel file, importing data from a text file, importing data from a CSV file, exporting data to the Excel file, text file, and CSV file we completed. We also completed SAS dataset querying, how to use keep to select the variables, drop to drop the variables while reading the data, rename, how to rename the column, and filter using where conditions, and also how to give if then logic towards creating a conditional column. We completed this part. Moving to this, we also understand how to sort a table using proc sort procedures. We also completed how to go for sorting data by ascending and descending order depending on your requirement. We spoke about joining. Vertical join means appending tables, and how to go for merging tables, and what is the merging rule we have to follow. That is called horizontal joins. Finally, we completed the functions, use of character functions, use of numeric functions in SAS, and use of date time functions in SAS. Having said this, we have finished now SAS programming. How will you become a successful SAS programmer to SAS machine learning and AI profile, or SAS data science or data scientist or data engineer, data analyst profile? Go through the classes, post class, complete the assignments, do industry real-time projects, get an industry mentor who can guide you. What is the day-to-day job is happening? What do they do day in, day out? Resume build. Once you create your resume, start appearing for the test and mock interviews, apply for the job and interviews, and get a job offer. Hey guys, we are DV Analytics. We are the Data Science and AI Training Institute and consulting firm. We do government and private projects across this globe, India and outside. We understand when students, those who got the freshers, did not get a job, or those who got the job, they're not happy, or those who are not in job, they're preparing for the government job, they got a career gap. Whether you have a satisfactory job, whether you do not have a satisfactory job, whether you have a career gap, or whether you are a fresher, everybody is worried about the placement or opportunity. Trust me, guys, data science and AI, it is never ending process. So what we do in DV, we offer data science and AI. We trained you as per the industry requirements in 4 core areas of expertise. We don't say part and parcel to get you ready. We consider your candidates, even if as a freshers, we know how to pitch for a high paying job in the market with the startup or the big MNCs where we connected to place you. We offer data science and AI into 4 core areas of expertise: DBMS programming, understand data management skill using Python, SAS, PySpark, Scala kind of programming. We teach you about data analysis and visualization skill using Excel, Excel AI, Power BI, and Tableau. We teach you about data mining and AI skills, all about Python, machine learning, deep learning, Gen and agentic AI towards cloud deployment or creating this production development and deployment using ML ops, LLM ops, and AI ops. Why we are saying this? Though we have 3 different modules, but the best module is data science with Gen and agentic AI, where you get everything in just 6 to 9 months. Why we are saying about this, even if you're a fresher or experienced guy, remember, this particular profile pays you very high job. Even if as a fresher, if you have DBMS programming, visualizations, data mining with AI, cloud deployment using ML ops, LLM ops, and AI ops into Azure, AWS, or GCP platform, if you have these right skills in your profile, being a fresher, you can go with 10 to 15 lakhs package. Don't say freshers are not getting job. We are getting them placed.
Even if you have an experience of 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years, you can expect a salary in India which is in crore today. So who can do this? Any freshers, people having career gap, working professional, those who want to transition to data science and AI, or you are a government employee or you are a private employee, you want to upskill yourself, you can always join this course with us for data science with Gen and agentic AI. Moving, as we say, we have been proving for last 15 years, we have trained more than 10,000 students. We have a success rate more than 95%. Any graduate can be data scientist. We are proving, even if you are coming from BA, BSc, BCom, B Pharma, BTech, BBA, MBA, PhD holder, or MTech, or MSc, or MCA, everybody has a career in the field of data science and Gen AI. Data science and AI is not for today, not for tomorrow. Yes, it is never ending, and there is no retirement to this profile. There is no limiting to the earning process. There are success stories of people coming from BSc, BCom, BTech, BA, MBA background, every other graduates, those who joined us more recent past, they have been trained, they have been placed to big MNCs where we have a connections. So why DV Analytics? We offer training live. We do not believe in giving recorded sessions. Live classes being recorded, it is available in our own LMS. In the LMS platform, it is not going to just learn. You have a platform to practice assignments, project submissions, also appearing for the test for practicality also. Then you can also get one-on-one support with our learning and develop department. Wherever you have a doubt, you can connect with them to clarify and complete assignment to feel stronger. We bring you industry real-time project. We don't say capstone project. We give you exactly what happened in the industry, the real-time projects. The moment you do these real-time projects, you can confidently say my past background or experience from this, I can apply for the job into this industry to bag an offer. Your resume building will take care. Your industry mentorship, bringing the industry mentors, guiding you about the live projects. We also take care of that. We take your test and mock interviews before we get your candidature for a placement support. We are located in Bangalore, Bhubaneswar, and Dubai. If you ever feel like you want to learn data science and AI skills, please reach out to us. And I would really like to thank you so much, guys, everyone, for joining this workshop. I hope this workshop helped you to understand at least the base level to start thinking about getting into SAS environment and you understand how SAS programming works. We keep on doing lots of workshop. We do Gen and agentic AI workshop. We do LLM ops, ML ops workshop. We talk about data science and AI career opportunity workshop. We do Excel AI, Power BI, Tableau, Python, machine learning, everything we do workshop. If you are there in the workshop group, please be there. You will always be updated about upcoming workshops, how it is happening.